Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the financial secrets of the big players, and today we're diving deep into AIN's latest 10K report. Get ready because this filing has some shocking numbers and a few big surprises. First off, let's set the stage. This is a massive report, and we're going to cut through all the jargon to get to the heart of what it means for the company's future. Think of it like this. We're going to be your financial detectives. So the first thing that jumps out is their revenue situation. For the year 2025, they saw a 4% drop in net revenues compared to the year before. That might not sound like a lot, but it translates to a significant chunk of income that has just vanished. They reported $1.18 billion in revenue this year, down from $1.23 billion in 2024. This dip is primarily blamed on lower demand in Asia, particularly China, and some big contract adjustments in their Albany engineered composites, or AEC segment, especially related to the AH-53K program. Imagine losing a customer base that used to buy one in 20 products, and then having to adjust your contract expectations significantly. And while they did see some growth in their LEAP program, it wasn't enough to completely offset these losses. Now, let's look at gross profit. This is the money left after they pay for the raw materials and direct costs of making their products. In 2025, their gross profit margin was a mere 20.6%. That is a huge drop from 32.6% in 2024. What does that mean in plain English? For every dollar of sales, they only had about 20 cents left to cover all their other business expenses. This is a direct consequence of those contract adjustments in AEC, particularly the CH-53K program, which hit their profitability hard to the tune of $165.8 million in negative adjustments. That is like a massive hole in your budget that you have to fill. And when you combine the lower revenue and the shrinking profit margins, you get to their operating income. Or in this case, loss in 2025. The company reported a total operating loss of $36.1 million. This is a stark contrast to the $131.4 million operating income they had in 2024. It is a complete reversal, signifying a very tough year. This operating loss is heavily influenced by that massive hit in their Albany engineered composite segment, which plunged into a loss of over $145 million. Let's unpack this Albany engineered composite segment a bit more. This segment competes in demanding aerospace and defense markets. They had a tough year, reporting a staggering operating loss of $145.1 million on revenues of $474.7 million. That is a profit margin that is deeply in the red. The primary culprit here is those long-term contracts, especially the CH-53K program adjustments, eating up about $155.9 million in estimated profitability. It looks like their initial cost estimates for these complex long-term projects were way off, and they are now having to account for the full anticipated loss over the remaining life of the program. You can see they are even exploring strategic alternatives for their structures assembly business, possibly selling off a facility in Salt Lake City. This is a clear signal that they are trying to cut their losses and refocus on areas with better profit potential, like their 3D woven technology. On the flip side, their machine clothing segment, or MC, showed more resilience. While revenues did drop by 5.6% to $708 million, that segment still managed to pull in a healthy operating income of $156.2 million. This segment is a global leader in custom, designed fabrics for paper manufacturing and other industrial applications. They are benefiting from strong performance in packaging and tissue sectors and a robust European market, even with some pressure in Asia and declining demand for publication grades of paper. The strategy here seems to be about maintaining market leadership through innovation and cost control, and it appears to be paying off compared to the struggles in AEC. Now, let's step back and look at the bigger financial picture. When we check out their accumulated other comprehensive income, or AOCI, we see some significant swings. For 2025, they had a negative translation adjustment of $119 million. This means that as the value of foreign currencies fluctuated against the US dollar, their reported value of foreign assets and liabilities decreased. Then things like pension settlements and remeasurements also added to the negative side. It paints a picture of a company dealing with a lot of external financial factors that are impacting their overall equity, even if net income is a separate story. A key part of their story in recent years has been the acquisition of Heimbach. This German company focused on paper machine clothing was acquired in 2023. The integration is a multi-year effort, and it is clear they've been working hard to harmonize operations, consolidate facilities, and achieve cost savings. While it is a strategic move to gain scale and complementary technology, integrating a large company always comes with its own set of challenges. As we touched on with the AEC segment, the company is actively trying to streamline its operations. They've designated assets related to their structures assembly business at the Amelia Earhart Drive facility as held for sale. This means assets like receivables, inventory, property, and even goodwill associated with that specific operation are now marked for sale. This is a clear sign of strategic repositioning, shedding assets that are not performing or aligning with their long-term goals. The total value of these assets earmarked for sale is a sizable $293.8 million. Let's talk about taxes. Their deferred tax assets, which essentially represent future tax savings, have a valuation allowance. This allowance is like a down payment on a potential tax benefit, essentially acknowledging that there is some uncertainty about whether they'll actually realize those savings. For 2025, this valuation allowance shows a significant increase, particularly overseas, reflecting changes in their expected future taxable income in various regions. When we look at Albany International Corp as a whole, it is clear they are navigating a complex and challenging business environment. The steep decline in profitability in their AEC segment due to contract issues is a major concern. It highlights the risks associated with large, long-term, fixed-price aerospace contracts where cost overruns can be absolutely devastating. On the other hand, their machine clothing segment appears to be their stable cash cow, performing much better despite industry headwinds. The company's strategy seems to be survival and refocusing, shedding underperforming parts of the business like the structures assembly operations, and trying to double down on their core strengths in advanced materials and engineering. The question is, can the strong performance of the MC segment and the improvements they are making in AEC mask the ongoing pain from those contract losses sufficiently to drive overall profitability and growth? The next few years will be critical in seeing if their strategic adjustments pay off. What do you think about Albany International's financial performance and their strategy moving forward? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into corporate filings. And don't forget to join our Discord community linked in the description to keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Corporate Decoder.